Dear audiences, distinguished guests, welcome to VGU Talk Show today. Like other countries hit by COVID-19, Vietnam suffered a significant loss during the course of the outbreak. Um, in the first 3 months, we estimate that Vietnam have around 35,000 businesses bankrupt. With the novel coronavirus and the tension trade driving the shift of the production line from China to the Southeast Asia, many national companies like LG, Samsung, and many international firms of Japan have choose the Vietnam as the production destination. Or we establish a new production base in Vietnam. Thanks to such an opportunity, this is a chance for Vietnam to step one step forward into the leading manufacturing world. However, Vietnam is still facing many challenges and obstacles. What are the challenges? What are the obstacles? How Vietnam can implement to be the leading manufacturing country? That's all we will discuss today. And I would like to introduce some experts that represent today to discuss about the hot topic, shaping the future of manufacturing industry in Vietnam. The first, I would like to introduce Dr. Sebastian Schumacher, the GPE Program Manager cum GPE Director of TU Berlin. And on my right side,
Hello.
Dr. Nguyen Hong Vi, Academic Coordinator of Global Production Engineering and Management of Vietnamese-German University. And Dr. Thomas Guidat, the Director of Industrial Transfers and Technology Transfer of Vietnamese-German University. And Mr. Brian O'Reilly, Academic Coordinator of the Master of Business Administration in Vietnam. So thank you for being with us today. So the first question I would like to introduce for the Dr. Sebastian Schumacher. Although he's now in the Germany, but he has a lot of research into the Vietnamese manufacturing and Vietnamese economic. Hello, Dr. Sebastian. So in the last decade, Vietnam has attracted a lot of the foreign investment due to the low labor cost, the stable economics, and we have a lot of trade agreement like EVFTA. And what will be the challenge of the country to keep the sustainable growth of its FDI in the next coming year? Please share your idea about this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your question. I think it is a very relevant question you are asking. And in particular, when we are seeing now the current situation where we are having kind of the international environment that brings a positive outlook for Vietnam, as some of the factors are really calling for, let's say, a shift of production from other countries which are closely located to Vietnam, such as China, to Vietnam. Think about the US-China trade war, which is really a current topic. And even so, the lack of trust due to the, let's say, responsibility, in particular, when we check the COVID-19 crisis. It is the situation that also, let's say, Vietnam is a very attractive location, a country for investment. When we are checking the investment of the German companies that are present in Vietnam, they are reinforcing the investment in the country with a clear focus on the manufacturing activities. Here, when we have a look on the latest number, the total investments of German companies is about 2.1 billion US dollar. And this is overall being conducted in 363 foreign direct investment projects. And even only when we focus on this year, we know that 12 new FDIs, so foreign direct investment projects, have been launched. This brings me to the conclusion that Vietnam is a very attractive country for investment. But when we are checking the, let's say, outlook, which means to the long-term future, we see that Vietnam right now has still lower labor costs than in other countries, but it has a rising tendency with respect to the labor costs, which means on a long term, I see that manufacturing industries are thinking in the direction of more automation in their manufacturing companies. And additionally, this is bringing the need for more efficiency and effectiveness to raise this, to raise more productivity to sustain in the global markets. And the main question that is driving is, how can this be achieved? And I think there has to be a certain effort with respect to lean manufacturing. Principles of lean for making more efficient and a more effective way of production are important. Or think about new types of production technology, additive manufacturing. A very current topic. And in particular, with respect to the corona crisis, when we take this as an example, we see that it has a certain potential to foster the localization, which means not any longer the responsibility or to be in close connection to the global value creation networks. No, it is a means for making local value creation. Or think of quality management. Quality management, a very important issue, not only when we consider the quality of the product itself, but also the quality of management and managerial actions and decision. Another very important point that I see, innovation. The innovation with respect to technology and innovation management, what is required from my perspective is a rethink of the traditional business models from we are selling traditional products towards selling services, which means, and this has a direct implication also on the sustainability issues, because with such new business models, we are enabled to extend the life cycle of such products, which in turn has a direct implication, a positive implication on the sustainability of specific products, and is a good contribution for the environment. But to further go on in this list, it's also important to focus way more on digital tools. Think of simulation tools, think of product lifecycle management tools to be able to effectively and efficiently contribute to the development of such an economy. We can add up this list with global supply chain management. We can add up the list with current applications in the area of Industry 4.0, and very important from my perspective, also latest advances in the area of automation technology and robotics. But from my perspective, one of the core aspects to achieve this this increase in particularly in the efficiency and the effectiveness is one thing: qualification. Qualification as the main aspect is so important to be stressed, and I'm sure that this profile of qualification as we know it from the today's people who are leaving the university will change in particular towards these issues that I addressed before. And the main question that is we are having finally, how can we finally cope with this challenge of this industrial requirements for future engineers? And let me highlight the second important point that I already addressed shortly, which is about the sustainability. We are all experiencing on the world a scarcity of resources, which means that we are right now using more resources than our Earth is providing. And this is definitely important point to focus on economic, ecologic, and environmental solutions that are helping to, in a sense, come to a reasonable resource usage. And I think that also the manufacturing has a high influence on this resource consumption. And in particular, when we are now focusing on a, let's say, rising economy, it brings the question, how can manufacturing contribute to increasing the increasing the ability and increasing the lifestyle without using more resources than than a reasonable consumption before. And this is raising a bunch of possible questions. For example, think of the awareness for industry, which means that in some regard, the industry needs to be get an awareness. And how can we bridge this? Yeah, through innovative qualification. And besides that, we have a high potential for technologic solution for the manufacturing, and in particular to extend this life cycle of the products as well as of machine tools. From my perspective as manager for such an international study program like Global Production Engineering, my answer is clearly we can contribute to this through innovative global engineering education. What does it mean, innovative global engineering of production engineers? Yeah, we are having a couple of rules we are following. For example, that we follow the unity of research and teaching, which means that research results are directly used in teaching, that the teaching is shaped in a project-oriented way, which means that real industrial projects where students are also working concretely on the projects are being, let's say, used as part of the teaching. And this all in a close relation to making or foster the, let's say, call it intercultural skills of the future management. Yeah, GPE itself is a global study program that is operated in Berlin, Ho Chi Minh City, and Shanghai, with overall 150 places for beginners of studying. And in particular, we designed a curriculum, we designed kind of a learning experience that is exactly tackling the challenges I mentioned in the area of the production, in the engineering, management, and in the intercultural communication. With this, we are able to prepare the people who are the students who are leaving the university for the upcoming challenges of the new markets and its requirement. Thanks a lot for having me here today for the statement. I will be handing over then to you, gentlemen and lady in the panel, and wish you then a rest and a successful evening. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. Thank a lot for your your participation in the talk show today, and we wish that we will see you in VGU in the future. And thank you again, and goodbye.
Bye.
So we're back with our discussion today here with our ladies and our gentlemen here. So Dr. Sebastian Schumacher just have a brief and a discussion about how Vietnam will attract more FDI and keep it sustainable in the next coming year. So regarding the production, that production plays a vital role in the economic development. And however, the qualities of the Vietnam labor resources require significant concern. World Bank has ranked Vietnam 11 out of 12 countries have the lowest productivities in Southeast Asia, and we still lack of some key skills to be competencies in the global business ecosystem. And how are these factors important to this industry, and are there any suggestions for the education system and some policy maker to resolve and improve the qualities of the human resources in Vietnam? So, Dr. Guidat, so you have many experience in because you have many experience in the related to the industry. So, can you share your opinions about this question?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Tu. Yes, so actually I'm in Vietnam for quite a long time. So I arrived the first time in 2014. So we can already count 6 years since the first time I came here as a lecturer, but now as part of the administration of the Vietnamese-German University. And after this time of observation, I can really believe that the issue is not that there is no interest in education from the Vietnamese culture. So a lot of parents are investing considerable amount of money into the education of their kids because they see it as the best investment for the future. I think the problem is what you mentioned, that we still are into a relatively low productivity level as compared with neighboring countries, is more residing into what are we teaching and how are we teaching. Today there is actually an oversupply of graduates going out of universities in Vietnam and coming into the work market, really wishing to find their first position, and still companies cannot find enough candidates to select for their positions because of this lack of skills. And the issue comes from, to me, the distance that we can observe between higher education institutions, universities, and the expectation of the industry. So based on what Dr. Schumacher mentioned, so our approach with VGU is to really try to bridge this gap by being very close to the industry, and this is why actually we created in 2015 this Center of Industry Relation and Technology Transfer to give contact point for industry to communicate with us, share their expectations, and so that we can give a good advice to our lecturer in teaching the right skills and also the right application of these skills. So what we would like to do at VGU is to offer a career service for the students, so to help them build their career, take the right steps, to select for them and find the best opportunities that really matches actually the competence of the high grade students that we are expecting here, and to also better understand what are the prerequisites to become a manager. So because that's really the vision and the ambition we have to train the next generation of engineers in Vietnam. So shortly, perhaps that's our approach on the topic. Yeah.
Yes, in your opinion, what key skill that the student or the labor workforce must to fill up in order to compete with the global business ecosystem?
Okay.
Yeah, in your opinion.
So surprisingly, actually, it's the answer to your question is really rather simple.
Yeah.
Maybe students tend to believe that you must be the most knowledgeable into coding Java or into exactly knowing how to program a CNC machine, or how to make a product design to the most details. But actually, this almost never comes when you ask industry to tell you what are the expectations for new recruits. Actually, the expectation from industry is what are the underlying skills that allows them to build a strong relationship with their employee and to train them to become more productive inside the company. So this communication is first starting by the global language today. So how to communicate in English. So of course it's more important when we're working for a foreign direct investment company coming from Germany, but also Japan or US or Brazil. Here in Vietnam, but it's also important for Vietnamese companies to develop the export market. So English always plays a role, and it's always what is expected today from a manager. So this is something that I must talk about first, and then behind them just the language itself. What is important is to have the right attitude to accompany the language, to have the right understanding, because even if you can have the command of English to the best points, if you are not able to understand actually what is said to you, what is expected to you, so to have to be open-minded, to make proof of empathy when your boss is talking to you or when your colleagues are talking to you, to be aware of that actually that should be your place and your position, not too low but also not too high. And carry the bottle of water or carry the coffee when you enter in the company can be bringing you a lot of advantage actually to become a manager, even if you believe that this may not be done to your status. And this is also mentioned as the most important expectation from companies. And then behind you can talk about the general understanding of the challenges from the company. So what is the market they are in, what are their challenges, and to show your company that you're understanding where you stand, and then how can you help them to gain. So maybe also I would like to mention at that point that this is, to me, the best achievement of VGU into 12 years of activity. 95% of our students find a job 3 months after their graduation, and we hear extremely good feedback from them from the industry. Industry is coming back to us, and many come without even us looking for them, because they want more of the students. And so this is why I really hope that we will be able to train more and more of these work-ready students.
Yes, it's great to hear that on the student, even in a bachelor or master level, easy to find a job, and the industry is quite satisfied with our quality of education. And they come back to us more students. This is a great news for anyone who wants to study in VGU, both in bachelor and master. And Mr. O'Reilly, you have many years living in Vietnam, and you have a lot of experience in the administration, especially in the resource. So can you share with us and the audiences what key skill that are required for the young generation to be successful in the career? Yes.
Okay. There's 3 areas that people should look at. One is, of course, the technical skills, and I think Dr. Guidat talked about that. But 2 other areas is the cognitive skills, which is the ability to think and solve problems. And in the workplace, there's no one right answer. You have to be able to analyze a problem, look at all the aspects of it, to be able to join the dots correctly to come up with a solution. So when you're working in a very complex area like manufacturing, your ability to think creatively and come up with good solutions is very, very important. On top of that, of course, what's called people skills or transferable skills. And basically, you not only have to have the technical skills, as to say, the technical skills will get you in the door, but the people skills will get you up to the top of the organization. So you will find that as you get more and more experience in an industry or in a company, that you're relying less on your technical skills and more on your ability to work with other people, to be able to communicate with other people, and to be able to what would you say, work through problems with people. And one of the things probably in education or traditional education is that 1 and 1 always equals 2. But when you go into the business and you go into industry, there may be many, many different solutions and that would get the job done. So I think it's very important for students, 1, learn all the technical aspects you need, of course, but also learn how to think creatively, be able to solve problems, and learn, of course, how to be able to work in teams, communicate with other people. The people skills or transferable skills are very, very important.
Yes, thank you for your answer. So we come to a discussion with our beautiful lady here. Yes. So my question is, why a technical master degree in production managers is benefit for the company and for the learner itself compared to the bachelor in production managers in the recent year? Because you know that in the past 5 years or 10 years later, owning a master degree in the production is quite rare, and people think that we have a master degree just work for the academic field or academic work only. And how can a standard German curriculum promote the competencies for the student in the future of the manufacturing world and manufacturing industry? Yes.
Thank you for a very interesting question. And when I back to Vietnam, I also very surprised about the development of Vietnam industry. And you can see that now, not only in Vietnam, but also in global other countries also, the company raise their standards for students, especially in production field. They require not only technical skills, like as I mentioned, Dr. Guidat mentioned, but also other skills in many major, for example, researching, evaluating, managing, decision making, and addressing the challenging in globalization require highly qualified people with comprehensive knowledge in technology and also problem-solving skill. That's things that when you learn in the bachelor degree, you haven't received it, because the bachelor degree provides you the very general knowledge requirement, but in master technical master degree, especially in global production, engineering, and management, we provide not only technical skill, but also soft skill in management and quality and so on. Yeah. And come back with our program, global production, engineering, and management have very unique curriculum that developed from the GPE program to Berlin. Our curriculum concentrates in 5 modules. The first one is production, the second engineering science, the third one is management, and the last will be intercultural communication. So that means that the student in GPEM not only be prepared for technical skill in engineering, production, and management, but also they chance the ability to work in global environment, to face with a complex problem, and to improve their creative thinking, innovative thinking to handle the complex tasks in future. Yeah.
All right. If I may just add to the remark from Dr. V, many students tend to believe that the expectations of companies towards them are fixed to the moment that they enter the work market. But it would be very interesting also to keep in the back of your mind that you are young, so you are, when you are a student, when you enter the university, you are 20 or 22, even less than that. So, and you are supposed to work until you are 60 or 65. Imagine how the world would have changed back then. I mean, you were out of Vietnam for a few years, and then you already see, how the situation has changed. So it would be interesting to consider this perspective when you are training your skills. Understand, so what would be the most important for you to be able to do. So doing a master degree and being trained for innovation has a very, I think, important effect on the possibility to also adapt yourself to a moving environment, and I think this is extremely important for you to consider when you're planning your career. Yeah. Vietnam is going to go from a factor-based economy where people come here for cheap labor and maybe the infrastructure, to a knowledge-based economy. So that's really my wish for the development of the country, and there's not many other possibilities actually for the country to get more value-added activity, capture it in the country, and of course afterwards improve the condition of living of its citizens. And this is will change really profoundly the skills that are expected from the students. And this is with this in the back of the head that I think Germany strongly wished to be involved into the higher education in Vietnam, invested heavily into this university, VGU, and we'd like to focus into the German value of unity of teaching and research, about critical thinking, about problem-solving skills, because these skills, we are sure, we will be able to use it for your whole life, and not only in one situation. Yeah.
You work a lot with Bình Dương manufacturers, many company manufacturing company here, even in Bình Dương, Biên Hòa or Ho Chi Minh City. We have, this is one of the most active region in Vietnam. Yeah. So when you work with them, what are their reactions when we offer them some kind of a student in a master production manager? What are the requirements?
Of course, we have different kinds of answers. So because you have maybe I would say there's an old school management into saying, okay, we try to cut cut the cost. This is my ultimate aim. But we have also the maybe manager that are a bit younger normally, I remember the saying of one company having, I think, over 1,000 staff, and wishing actually to reduce their staff from 1,000 to 200 by doing the automation inside their factory. But they didn't say that they want also to reduce reduce their cost by 20%. They say we expect our personal cost to stay the same, even if we want to have less people. So it means that they are already in their mind to pay more for people with better skills. And I think this fits pretty well with the vision of the Vietnamese government and to go out of factor based and go to the knowledge based.
Yeah. Actually, it's many research they show that the company now they realize the benefits of master degree, and they even require their employee should have the advanced degree. And I think in Vietnam it will be also. And we received many good feedback from our industrial partner that our students they perform very well in their position as manager, production manager. Yes. The thing I realized that based on our program curriculum that we integrate many activity, industrial many activity for our students. So we have a very strong relationship with industrial partner, and we try to involve the project in each subject. So the student will doing the real project, and they will understand the real situation, the trend in industry, and then they have the sense to how to solve the problem, to have the creative thinking, and then develop themselves to adapt with a new situation in future. And also the teaching methodology in GPEM also very interesting. Like Vietnam also have a project-based learning methodology, and the teacher also they try to figure out the interesting method to interact the student, involved to the lesson, how to transfer the theory to practical. That's improved the quality of our program a lot. Yeah.
I just like a couple of things. Like when you ask why do a master's, first of all, I'd like to mention we are the Vietnamese-German university, and Germany is one of the top manufacturing countries in the world. But why would you do a master's if you've got a bachelor's? Well, you have to look at the changing environment, and I'm a lot older than most people here, and the skills and knowledge you would need to run a factory 20 years ago is completely different to what you need now. Now factories use a lot of technology, so you've got the technology factor. It's becoming, as we said, global. You're going to be buying and selling to countries all around the world. The environment is changing, the pressure is changing, the supply chain demands are getting bigger. So you need a lot higher level of knowledge and expertise, which can really only gain at a master's level to be able to go into the industry and perform competently. So that's why it's very important if you want to work successfully in the factories of the present and of course the future, that you do have those high level of knowledge and skills.
Yeah, thank you for the discussion. Previously, Dr. Guidat has mentioned about attitudes. So, Mr. O'Reilly, can you explain how does VGU train students to have the right attitude and understanding of the expectation of the young global managers? So, because we only expect that from the master degree, from the master of global management, we expect we have to produce more master for young managers. So how will you train them?
Well, let me explain the three variables here. You've got what's called, as we say, knowledge, skills, and attitude. Knowledge is knowing what to do. Skills is knowing how to do it. And attitude is knowing why you're doing it. And I think we've covered this in many ways before. But as Dr. V said, we'll say in my particular situation with project-based learning, it's not only to teach the students the what and the how, but why is it important, for say in manufacturing, that you know how to lead and manage projects, that you understand all aspects of project management. Why will it help you? So not only, I think it's very important that the students understand that if you don't have the right attitude, that you don't understand why these things are important, then you're going to get left behind. The way we do that is to show them that, as we say, you have got the theories and the models, and it's how to apply those theories and models into a practical situation that is very important, and the students can see the results. So when I'm doing project management with them, they're actually working on very practical projects, and they have to develop and present and deliver a project plan as part of their assessments. So the students can see the end result. They can see that gaining this knowledge and understanding makes them a lot more competent, and very important, it makes them a lot more confident. Yeah. So having the right attitude is a very, very important thing, and all of the lecturers in the GPEM program are trying to develop the students so that they have a very positive can-do attitude. So they look at problems and to take on problems with the attitude that we will fix the problem no matter what it is. And that's very important. So when you go into the workplace, you're going to face problems that you may not have faced before, and your attitude is what's going to make the difference between success and being ordinary. And I think it's just to finish off on it, it's very important to realize that your attitude, no matter how good your knowledge is, no matter how good your skills are, if you don't have the attitude, you are not going to be highly successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you let me bounce on that, so don't forget also to consider who is watching you when you ask to demonstrate the right attitude, because this can change very intensively. So when a Japanese manager would ask you to have the right attitude, or when a German manager would have you to have right attitude. And this is why it points directly to what we said before, that if you want to be a manager, if you want to understand that is the right attitude at the right time, at the right place, is to have an understanding of the other sectors that are not your sector. So this is how you will be able to have like a global vision that will give you the right information to consider, and maybe be able to meet the expectations of the manager or your top manager that you're willing to convince if you're in a job interview to become the future manager.
To add some additional point, like how we change how we guide our students to the right track with the right attitude. So as we organize many industrial tours from the industrial department, and we require the student to do internship during their programs. So students will expect many things from the industry, but when they are involved in the industry tour, working with the real manager or even worker, then they can learn many lessons, and then from that they can have the right attitude after they graduate, and they can be a real manager in company. Yeah.
Yes, we received many questions regarding of the GPE program today. So one question that from Ms. Lang. She asked about the scholarship. Where did you offer scholarship for this program? She really wanted to learn this program, and she asked for the scholarship. Is there any special scholarship for the GPEM?
Yeah, we have 7 kinds of scholarship for excellent student, excellent candidates. The first scholarship we call is called the merit scholarship. That will be give for the student with good GPA and also have the good score in entrance exam. The second scholarship it is a DAD scholarship for students come to Berlin from 4 to 6 months to do internship and thesis. The scholarship will cover the flight and also the living expense when they are in to Berlin. And the third type of scholarship, it is the industrial scholarship from our industrial partner, and maybe Dr. Guidat can introduce some about the industrial scholarship.
For sure, so I would be happy to. We are working with industry leader company since several years to offer scholarships. So maybe the most popular one we have is with the Adidas group. Adidas, but also the tier 1 suppliers and maybe soon some tier 2 suppliers too, are offering us the opportunity to get your tuition fee paid, your living fee paid for the whole duration of your studies, and also to guarantee you a position as a manager in their company right afterwards. So actually, if you get accepted to this program, you will get a job guaranteed from the moment that you enter our university. And we will showcase then your innovation during the most important meetings from Adidas with their supplier, when they talk about innovation, when they want to motivate their suppliers to be increasing the quality, increasing the productivity, showing some good work ethic. And so this is we would like to use then the project from our students to showcase what are you able to do together with us by using then our cutting edge laboratories and our best of the class lecturers also, that you can see at its glimpse of. So here, two industry partners. So I think this is also rather unique in the market today, of this such of integration between the industry and the university, but you are able to get a job guaranteed from the beginning. So I'm very glad that we can say we gain the trust of the industry as a high value university in Vietnam.
Well, thank you for the scholarship. So we believe that for many scholarship for the candidate, you can certify and find the scholarship that is suitable for you. And not about a merit scholarship, we have a lot of scholarship from the industry sector. Yes, and more scholarship will come during your school time here. And come to the next question. It's quite interesting question that from Miss Hoàng Lê Giang. Okay, her question is, hello GPEM. I have 5 years of experience as a production assistant, and I want to study in VGU as a GPEM student. And however, my bachelor degree is in finance. Is it okay and is it eligible to join your program? I think it's quite common now in Bình Dương, in any other place, that they have another bachelor degree, but now they work for production and they want to improve their skill and their knowledge.
Yes, you can apply for GPEM program. However, you have to pass our technical entering exam. So the candidates that have the major not related to engineering or manufacturing, but you have the experience in production, you qualify for the to apply to GPEM. But we also have entrance exams that testing your English and technical. And we want to know about from your transcript and also for your experience, can follow up our programs or not. And after the entrance exam, we will decide like you will be qualified or not qualified to become our student. Yeah.
So my question for, is it the barrier or is the difficulty for the student that have the bachelor's in other field, and that's not related to the technical field to study here?
I'll answer the opposite direction. I was a civil engineer and I decided to do an MBA, which of course is a business degree. And of course, going from a very structured area like civil engineering to things like marketing is a big challenge. But what I would say to those students is that it's not only again what you're learning in the actual GPEM program, it's actually challenging your brain to think in many different ways. And I think if you're going from finance into manufacturing, well, a lot of the skills you've learned to get your degree in finance would help you, your thinking skills. But obviously, if you end up running a factory or in a senior position in a factory, you have to know about finance. So the undergraduate degree will complement the degree of GPEM.
Yeah, and actually we also have some of the alumni students. They have the background in finance, but they also can follow all of subjects in GPEM and is one of the best our students. So don't worry, just try your best.
Sure. I think it all depends on actually what is your experience in production. So as Dr. V said, we are open for considering other application with bachelor in other disciplines, even if it's not technical, but we will keep at heart at serving the other students that will be in the class with you, and also our industry partner who also have some expectations towards the students that we will train on their capacity. So if you should be able to show us that you have had some experience that are relevant to these technical skills, and then provided that we can recognize that, I think, and that you are showing us that you have a good command of it, then I think it would be the reason for us to accept such an application.
Yeah.
Yes. And one more question from Mr. Nam. He wants to ask, do we have some kind of a practical subject besides some kind of material subject in our study?
Oh, we have almost our subject is very practical. So we have, as I mentioned, we have 5 modules. The first one is production. The second one engineering science. The third one is management, and the last one is the first one is communication, and the last one some of the special topic. So all of the topics, like for example, production, we have factory planning, we have factory simulation, we have for engineering, we have like product development, we have engineering design, and so on. We have many good subjects for you, and all of the subjects require you need to do with the project. It means like you need to do with the real thing. Like for example, engine design, you need to design a product and do the prototype, and then make to sparkling your product in front of your classmates and in front of some of the community to show like your product is qualified to successful in the markets, for example. So I can proud that all the subject at GPEM is very practical. Yeah.
And this comes from the founder of the program, actually, Professor Seliger from TU Berlin, who actually always repeated his students that what he wants to see is your ability to do. He doesn't want to see you just repeating what is written in the book. He wants to find the right way for you to be able to demonstrate to us that you are able to apply. Because if we know that, if we see that you are able to apply theory into an environment, then we are confident that you will be able to do it again in the future into a professional environment. So this is what is like the maybe background of this curriculum.
Yes. And one thing I want to mention is like if you come to GPEM, you can see like we invest a lot of money for our lab facility because our goal, our target is we want to teach the student like learning by doing. So we want the student to involve to experiment in lab and in real company. And that's why, for example, here this is one of our catalogs. You can see like we have like tons of modern machine, device, tool, and so on. And students can come to the lab during the office hour and do the practical thinking things in our lab. Yeah.
I'd like to add a very practical aspect, which, as I mentioned earlier, I delivered a project management class, and in that class I have to plan projects. However, under the auspices of Dr. Guidat, each of the students had to work in teams in an actual factory for a number of weeks, and they worked on projects to actually do real-life improvements in the factory. So the students had to spend a number of weeks actually in a factory working on a specific area in that factory to identify and be able to help implement improvements in the actual factory.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually now that we have the several projects with our industrial partner to do with like for example robot arm project, do with a mold for injection molding machine, or we build a lean factory for practical lean manufacturing and so on. So if you join GPEM, we always encourage the student to join to involve to the joining project between GPEM and industrial partners. Yeah.
Yeah, think a lot. So we want to spend more time to talking about VGU, about the GPM, but we don't have much time. So we wish that with this talk show, you can feel satisfied about the GPM program, and you have the plan for your future to become a leading global production managers in the future. VGU is the promised destination to fulfill your dream come true. So we will come back with more interesting subject in the next talk show. And good night and see you again.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.